a great effort, hustling there from the center jump, put it down on the second chance, and here come the Phoenix Suns. Scott against Stover. Scott trying hard not to foul out. And if he continues to hit it, there will have to be a defensive change on the part of the Suns. They have been begging Paul Silas to put it up in this series. Curtis Perry handling the ball back to Ricky Sobers. Havlicek starting for the first game. Curtis Perry on the turnaround right base. Silas with his second option when Garfield Hurd backs off. He can drive to the hoop, as he did right there. It's 6-3 Celtics.
And it'll cause a lot of problems for the Phoenix Sun defense if Paul Silas becomes more offensive-minded.
Cowens got a hand on the ball, and here come the Celtics. White in control. Celtics running more with Havlicek on the floor.
Joe, get inside. You'll see the play back here coming now on defense. Cowens, good defense, comes over, knocks the ball loose. JoJo.
It's 7-3. Celtics lead. One team foul apiece against Phoenix and Boston. The NBA championship tied 2 games apiece. Curtis Perry turns around on Silas. Shot was high. Garfield Hurd could not save it out of bounds, and here come the Celtics. And Rick beats Phoenix. John Havlicek starting for the first time, and Fusher. Curtis Perry helps out. Havlicek will take him. Here's the rookie, Sobers, against the former Sun, Charlie Scott. JoJo White out of Kansas up against Paul Westphal, ex-Celtic. Perry gives it back, and here's Westphal. Good defense. Shot clock down. They're going to have to hurry. Inside of 5. Great defense by the move out of Garfield. Into the Dave Cowens. He should have shot it himself that time. He was so intent on team basketball that he gave it up when he should have taken it to the hoop. Curtis Perry now puts it down on the floor, and we've got a travel call. They have turned it over.
The defense by the Celtics, extremely intense. They're working very hard. They forced the Suns.
Play took it from Scott. It has been a different Boston Celtic team here early in Game 5. They have strapped on those shoes real tight. Westphal with a miss. Forget Jimmy the Greek's tip. Mackenzie Bridge, Mindy Rudolph. Get all over that horse.
I've got it. It's not just a tunnel, right?
No,
Mackenzie Bridge.
10-1 I saw. Sobers brings it up on Scott. 13-3. Celtics on an early tear. Garfield Hurd stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Don Murphy physically altered. John McLeod's thinking. 15-3. Wearing number 5, who has just checked in, handling the ball for the first time. Gar Hurd and Charlie Scott came out. Make it 17-5. 7:35 to go in the first quarter. Game 5, Boston Garden.
Celtics are shooting 8 for 11, a fantastic percentage.
Sobers gives it up on the turnover. Silas has got you-know-who, Hondo. Off the Celtic bench. Both players are going to stay in a game. A lot of shoving. No punches were thrown. 7:15 to go first quarter. Sobers inside to Gar Hurd, and look at Cowens hustle on the D.
And Dave just tried to take it away from him over the back.
What a different feeling in the Boston Garden. In the first 2 games, the fans here thought it was going to be a rout. They expected it to go 4-0. The Suns gave them a rude awakening down in Phoenix. Sobers inside. And Alvin Adams tapped it back to Gar Hurd. Ball would not go, but another spectacular effort from the rookie out of Oklahoma. Hondo. Magnificent first quarter.
Their game established without the overuse of aggressiveness that was prevalent in the last 2 games down in Phoenix. So they can get their game going without being that rough.
Dave Cowens with a much-deserved rest out of the game, and Jimmy Yard will chase Alvin Adams. Perry inside. We've seen that play. It has worked.
Briefly, Brent and Rick. Of course, Boston established their running game, controlled both boards, shut off the driving lanes of Phoenix, and were able to penetrate to the basket. Therefore, the score, 36-18.
And right away, Cowens is hustling in the backcourt as we start the second quarter. Pressure from the Celtics, who lead it 36-18. Phoenix on the attack. Gar Hurd.
At 2 times, Ricky Sobers has turned his head to the basketball and been backdoored by JoJo White.
All alone, Westphal with a miss. And the came flying across for an easy second chance hoop. Scott does not want the 4th foul. He lets Sobers go. Dave Cowens is continuing his reign of terror as we begin the second quarter.
Phoenix Suns have not been able to shut down the inside game of the Boston Celtics, and it's hurting them very badly in this ball game.
In Phoenix, Cowens had only 19 shot. Lumpkin misses. Autry is there. Won't fall. Phil retrieves it and gives it back to Dennis, who's all alone. Cowan, 57. I give up.
The two rookies were Heinsohn and Bill Russell.
Oh, of course.
And the rookie of the year was not Russell. It was Heinsohn.
Right. Here's Westfall giving it to Curtis Perry. 46-32. There's our rookie. In seconds, they have whittled that to 7.
Yes, and they've done it with the fast breaks. They've gotten easy opportunities, making the steals, good defense, playing Boston's style of play.
Celtics trying to slow them down with some pressure in the backcourt. Lumpkin goes down. Phoenix bench screaming there was a foul. Lob pass intended for Garfield Hurd and John Havlicek pushing over there.
They're screaming for a foul from the Phoenix bench because Dave Cowens thought he ran right over Lumpkin.
In the last 3:45, Phoenix has outscored Boston 19-4. Two great veterans there, huh? Van Arsdale and Havlicek. This time it's a misfire. Nelson.
I would say, Rick, that JoJo White does most of the scoring from the left side of the court as opposed to the right side. He loves that position on the other side, away from his right shooting arm.
Interesting observation, because the last second shot in Phoenix was from the right side. 4 minutes and 50 seconds first half. Silas was up there with Garfield Hurd.
That is covering a man like a blanket. You cannot ask for a better defensive job than what Paul Silas did just there.
Cowens. Autry was out there. Good defense. Dennis with control.
That's where they like to see Dave Cowens, I'm sure, rather than underneath the basket. He's caused a lot more problems underneath.
Inside of a minute left in the first half, Boston Garden. Battle for the loose ball. JoJo White was control.
Tell the officials, too.
We don't listen sometimes, right? Why don't they listen to you?
I don't know.
25 seconds first half. Brent Musburger along with Rick Barry and Mindy Rudolph from the Boston Garden. This is Game 5 of the NBA Championship. Game 6 Sunday. Sobers and Cowens was up. Havlicek now 11 points behind Wilt Chamberlain for third spot on the all-time playoff scoring list. 61-45. Boston Celtics trying to win their 13th title in 20 years.
They're coming out again, putting that pressure on.
To set the Phoenix attack, Adams giving it to Westfall along with Sobers, Garherd, and it was Curtis Perry who went up. Adams. And outside, he's been devastating.
Yes, Fred, they're insulting him as they did in the previous 4 games, but he's been popping in that outside jumper now. He's made 3 or 4 from out there.
What a difference that makes against the Phoenix defense. Garfield Hurd, who's assigned to Silas, has been sloughing off and taking a driving lane away from Cowens. But if Silas hits outside, it's different. Gar Hurd on the
hip. That's where the foul took place. Down low, not up top.
Scott tipped the pass from Sobers. Adams in the game. Adams still on the bench. I wonder when John McLeod will bring him back. It might depend on the scoreboard.
Can't wait too long, Brent. If they fall too far behind, it'll be an impossible task.
Westfall. Hawthorne leaps over. Great athletic skills. Curtis Perry. Andre tapped it back in. It'll count, and there was a foul.
During the later stages of a ball game, his foot tends to get tired on him, and it seems to give way. And he just doesn't have the strength necessary to do what he likes to do out there.
Westfall cuts to the basket beautifully with that. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the Boston Garden. Sobers was coming in on the drive and gave it up.
Without wiping it off.
Charlie Scott dove in over there on the pass play.
There's one area that Phoenix Suns have really suffered in here in the later part of the game. It's been turnovers.
Van Arsdale was trying much.
Remember, Dallas has 5 fouls. Let's see if they go to work on him.
Adams with the ball, and the clock moves right-hand side of your screen. Total time left here, regulation time of Game 5. Westfall had it knocked away on a penetration. Celtics come right back on this game to pick the man up, taking it out of bounds. It's going to be Gar Hurd. Gar Hurd standing right in front of me here at the table. Jimmy Yard is on him. Won't start till it's touched. And Cowens is out there, and we've got overtime in the Boston Garden. Taking it out of bounds is going to be Gar Hurd. Gar Hurd standing right in front of me here at the table. Jimmy Yard is on him. Won't start till it's touched. And Cowens is out there, and we
Shot and either go into overtime or win the game.
So it is down to that. Autry and Hurd, confusion on the inbound pass. Cowens all over Garfield Hurd. Here is Ricky Sobers. Clock goes down inside of 10 seconds. Handful of seconds, tied at 101. Sobers gave it up. And the Celtics have used their time. Celtics ahead by a point on those two free throws. Clock moves down to the 2:20 mark. Sobers and Van Arsdale on McLeod's backcourt, and Van Arsdale wants to go down in with Havlicek. Havlicek was there with his foot along the side.
John almost made a super big play for the Boston Celtics, but when you lift that foot up, that is kicking the basketball. It must be unintentional.
Sobers trying to put Phoenix ahead. Cannot, and Cowens skies for the rebound. Inside at 2.